Do I look cute? Am I cute? Yeah, so it's Halloween, baby. Ooh. I didn't really have a costume. I just found this in my wife's closet. So I guess I'm Rhaenyra Targaryen from House of the Dragon. That's what I'm going with. Yeah, it's Halloween, man. And I've been watching a lot of movies this month. Mostly because I had COVID, but also because it's Halloween, baby. Spooky season. And you might be saying, Cody, you sounded sick in your last video. Are you not better? Are you still sick? No, I filmed them on the same day, stupid. I just finished filming it. I got up, I changed, put on a wig, and I came back, dude.
When will you wear
wigs? All right, let's get started, dude. I watched a lot of things this month, and so we just gotta get through it. We just gotta get going. I watched 17 movies. We'll start off quickly. We'll rapid fire these kind of a bit. The first movie I watched this month was Coraline. It is the perfect movie to start off the Halloween season, because it's just fun, man. It's got good animation. It's fun. It's childlike. It's wondrous, but also a little spooky, a little creepy. Yeah, we watched that, and then we watched it at our local drive-in theater with some friends, and that night it was a double feature with Coraline and The Shining. So we watched The Shining next. Yeah, another perfect movie to start off the spooky season, because that movie is spooky, and it is basically almost perfect in my opinion. There's a few issues I have with like the writing and stuff, but it's just a really good atmospheric, spooky movie. Jack Nicholson is incredible, giving one of the best performances of his career, in my opinion. And yeah, it's just one of those movies that you can watch and then sit and talk with your friends for hours afterwards and just theorize on different things. You can pull different things out of it, like each time you watch it. The Shining and Coraline, both great movies for the Halloween season. After that, I watched the movie Antlers. This movie came out last year and I didn't see it because I just didn't have the time, I guess, but I really wanted to because it looked interesting, and Guillermo del Toro put his name on it, and I love anything del Toro does. But for some reason, this movie just didn't do it for me. I didn't like it. I thought it was really boring, and the performances weren't great, and the story was very lackluster, and it's only been a few weeks since I've seen it, and I already forgot most of it. I don't really remember what happens, but I do remember that Jesse Plemons in it, so he gets half a point for that, and it also gets half a point for the fact that the big monster thing at the end, they actually use some practical effects and puppetry, which I thought was smart of them and was really cool to see. But those two things don't make up for the fact that the movie is boring, which I think is the biggest crime you can commit when it comes to horror films, is making it boring. Antlers, don't check that one out. And then after that is when I watched both Goodnight Mommies. I just recorded a video of me talking about both of these. I probably already posted it at this point, so go watch that if you want to hear me talk about these movies. Watch the original one, don't watch the remake. After that, I checked out Michael Mann's Manhunter. I'm still on my Michael Mann kick. I've been watching his movies, but a lot of his movies don't really fit the theme of, October or Halloween. This would probably be the closest one that he's got. What a lot of people don't know is that Manhunter is actually based off the book Red Dragon, which is a prequel to the events that take place in The Silence of the Lambs. What's really funny about this movie, which has nothing to do with The Silence of the Lambs, there's no connection between the movies really, other than there is a Hannibal Lecter, but it's not Anthony Hopkins. But it's really funny to see the branding of this movie before and after Silence of the Lambs came out. Here's the original poster, and then here's the one for after Silence of the Lambs came out, where they really try to sell it as oh, this is a prequel to Silence of the Lambs, that movie that's super popular, made a bukus of money. But that's really not what it is. They're two very different movies. Silence of the Lambs is very atmospheric and creepy in its own way. Manhunter is the same, but very almost I don't know how to explain it. It's very trippy and very weird. The camera angles are interesting and colors are very interesting. Michael Mann really kind of went artsy-fartsy with this one in a way, and I really appreciated it. I wouldn't say this is one of my favorite Michael Mann movies. I do think it's great. He hasn't done a lot of wrong in my opinion, but it was a good movie. Check it out. After that, I watched A24's X. I didn't like this one. Sadly, A24 does great with horror movies. Their batting average is good, but this one sadly was not for me. I didn't love it. I thought all the actors did great. I thought they were doing great performances for the characters that had been written for them. Even Kid Cudi did decent with like his character, which is a pretty one-dimensional character, I'll say, like written out wise, but he played the character well. Yeah, this is one of those movies that's just so much style over like so little substance, and it just doesn't do anything for me. It didn't do anything new. I thought they were gonna go like one route where it would be like supernatural element with Mia Goth playing the main character but also the villain. I thought there would be some kind of like weird twist with that, but no, there really wasn't. It was just serial killer old folks, and yeah, I didn't care for it. I have heard that Pearl is better, which is the prequel to this movie. I may check that one out. I don't know yet. It may take some convincing. After that, I checked out a movie called Ghost Stories. This movie was awesome. I really liked this movie. The poster is what drew me in. I saw the poster and I was like, that looks interesting. What is this about? And then I saw that Martin Freeman was in it, and I like Martin Freeman. So I was like, you know what? That's all I needed to know. So I just hopped in, checked it out. I don't know why this movie doesn't have more recognition. I think it may in the UK. It is a British movie, so it may have more recognition across the pond than it does here, but I really enjoyed it. I loved the 3-act structure that it had. The twist at the end got me. I was not expecting it. I was expecting the movie to end one way, and it didn't. The characters are really great. Just twists and turns, and it's even like funny. Like I would consider it a horror comedy, but unlike movies like Shaun of the Dead or Tucker and Dale versus Evil, where those movies are comedies with the mask of a horror movie, this is a horror movie first. And then a comedy second, where like there are some good psychological thrilling moments that are like drilling into your head that are then like cut through with just like a joke or a gag that kind of comes out of nowhere but is timed very well. So yeah, I really recommend this movie. I'll probably keep this in my like Halloween rotation for the next couple of years. After that, I watched The Hitcher from 1986. I was just bored and wanted something to watch, and this one looked fun, so I checked it out, and it started, and then I was like, hey yo, is that Ponyboy Curtis? And sure enough, it was. Ponyboy's in this, man, and he killed it. He did an awesome job. He plays scared very well, but then whenever that switches like halfway through the movie where he's like, you know what, screw it, I'm going crazy, he plays that also very well. Also, Rutger Hauer, however you say his name, I don't know, the guy from Blade Runner, he is crazy in this movie. He does killer, no pun intended. He does some stuff in this movie that blew me away at just how far he would go and the lengths he would take to just really screw with this guy. It was really, really entertaining. Sadly, the worst part of this movie is Jennifer Jason Leigh, who normally is really good, but in this, dude, I thought she was just bland as a sack of potatoes, and the movie kind of halts to like a snail's pace when she shows up. Yeah, that's like the only points that I would knock off for this movie. Other than that, I think it's really entertaining and really fun, and I'll probably revisit in the future. After that, we did another A24 horror movie. We checked out Bodies, my wife and I did, and yeah, we liked this one. Well, at least I liked it. I can't really speak for her. I liked it. This one, though, is more horror comedy. It's a lot funnier, and that's the thing I liked about it, is how funny it was. There's a lot of Gen Z humor and jokes that are poking fun at Gen Z that I thought worked very, very well, and the theme of the movie was nice. The atmosphere that it built was unique, and I enjoyed it. I liked a lot of the lighting choices, using like glow sticks and phone lights. The soundtrack was fun. I don't know, it was just a fun time. I wasn't expecting to like it, but I ended up really enjoying it. The only part that I would say I didn't love was like the ending, but you know, can't really fault it too much. There wasn't much they could do. Yeah, I don't know, I had fun. If you're looking for a fun movie to watch with your friends, check out Bodies. I liked it. All right, then after that, my wife and I watched The Faculty. I had heard a lot about this movie for years, and I never watched it. Don't know why, just never did. And I finally did, and I really, really liked it. And I am mad that I did not watch this movie earlier in life, because high school Cody would have loved this movie. It's just that perfect, like, dumb, turn your brain off movie that follows the stereotypes of like high school cliques and communities. It's written by the same guy who wrote Scream 1 and 2, and so like obviously this dude has written high school stereotypes for most of his career, and he knows it to a T, so this script probably came pretty naturally to him. The film itself, yeah, fantastic. All the actors are doing a great job. Another thing is, I think this movie benefits from having an R rating. I think think if this was a PG-13 movie, it wouldn't have worked as well, because there's some good scares and there's some good character moments that could have only been done like in an R-rated movie. And that stuff kind of shocked me because I did go into it thinking it was a PG-13 movie. I really love that the big final alien thing is like a practical effect. It's like a puppet. There is some like corny, cheesy late 90s CGI, but I can't really fault it for that. It's just like for the time. I'll definitely probably revisit this in like future Halloween seasons. After that, I checked out Speak No Evil. This movie came out this year. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. This is one of those slow burn movies that kind of has like a decent payoff. I wouldn't say this is like one of the best horror movies I've ever seen, because obviously like it's not doing anything super like new or original. It's taking the idea of like we're in an unfamiliar location and like things are weird and things are creepy, which like that's like 100% nightmare fuel for me. Like my anxiety was through the roof on this movie, but it's, you know, it's not doing anything like super new. I will say the twist is a little messed up. It kind of messed with me a little bit. I was like, oof, that's rough. You know, it's a good little movie. I would say watch it if you're into like those slow burns. Where the mystery is kept up for most of the movie. And then after that, I watched not a horror movie. I watched Bullet Train because I was looking for something fun. So I watched it and I ended up really liking it, you know, because when Brad Pitt's having fun, man, I'm having fun. He took this script and he had a blast with it. Everyone did, honestly. Every character in this movie, every actor is just going balls to the wall crazy, and they're having a blast. And I can imagine the set for this movie was everyone was just having so much fun. The performances are really good. The comedy is great. The action's actually surprisingly well done. Yeah, I would say if you know you're hanging out with your dad this holiday season and he's like, any good movies recently? Throw on Bullet Train. You and your dad are gonna have a great time. And then after that, COVID hit. I got hit with the vid, and so I was bedridden and sick. So I watched one of my favorite Halloween comfort movies, which is John Carpenter's The Thing, one of the most grotesque movies that I find comfort in. I just love the atmosphere of it. I love Kurt Russell. I love Keith David. I love it. This time though, I had just picked this movie up on a 4K version, so I watched a 4K transfer of it, and dude, that 4K transfer is crispy, dude. It looks nice. So I recommend watching this movie again on the nicest, most HD screen you can find. There's not much more that I can say about this movie that hasn't already been said. It's perfect. I think a lot of this movie is flawless. If you've never seen this movie, what are you doing? You need to watch it. You need to check it out. And then after that, you know, my wife and I, we both had COVID and we were looking for something to watch. She wanted to watch something spooky. She specifically said, I want to watch something spooky that'll blow my mind and make me go, what? So I'm looking for that type of movie. And then she's like, but I want something that you haven't seen either. I want us to both be surprised. And I was like, well, that's going to be a little difficult. So I'm like looking on Reddit, good horror movies with good twists or whatever. And so I finally found one that was streaming that neither of us had seen, that according to Reddit had a good twist, and that movie was The Uninvited. The movie had a twist. It did have a twist. Reddit did not disappoint there, but we figured out the twist like 30 minutes into the movie. We picked up on it pretty quick. This is another American remake of a foreign film, and I haven't seen the original, but that one's got way better reviews on like IMDb and stuff. This one isn't great. It's that early 2000s cheese. It's like 2007 or 2009 or something like that. So it's that like it's very cheesy and very overproduced, and yeah, just not great. And the title doesn't make sense either. It's called The Uninvited, but never once did anyone get invited to anything or uninvited to anything. I guess if you're into stuff where you can turn your brain off and just watch it, I would say watch The Uninvited, I guess. And then my wife and I watched another horror movie where it's just a turn your brain off fun movie. And that is Unfriended. This movie's not good at all. I'm not the first to say that this movie is not good, but I've seen this movie like 4 times and I think it's so fun. I love the concept of the whole movie taking place on a computer screen. I kind of have like a soft spot guilty pleasure for movies like that, and this movie is just ridiculous and it's so stupid, but man, it's so fun. And I haven't seen it, I don't think, since like high school, so going back and seeing like all the UI for all the different programs on the computer that haven't been updated since like 2014. Like that was really fun to see. Like we'd be like, oh my God, look at the old Spotify. Oh my God, look at the old Google logo, stuff like that. So yeah, stupid movie, but really fun. And then I ended the month by watching the movie I Saw the Devil. This movie came out in 2010, and I remember it coming out, and I remember wanting to see it, but I never did because I wasn't super into foreign films at the time, and I just didn't want to, take the chance on it, I guess. In my sickness, I was like, you know what, screw it, I'll finally watch it, and whoa. I loved it. I loved this movie so much. I thought it was fantastic. The gore is insane, I will say. There is a lot of grotesque visuals that you're gonna have to, you're not gonna like those. There was some parts where I was like turning away from the screen because I didn't want to look at it because of how gross they were. The two main characters in this movie are insane. The main guy, the bad dude, forgive me, Choi Min-sik. I hope I said that right. He has to be like that in real life. He has to be that evil in real life because there's no way anyone can just turn that on. Like he has to deep down be that disgusting and vile and evil. The story is enthralling. The action is kind of crazy. There's a scene that takes place in a taxi. There's like a knife fight that goes down in a taxi that I need like a behind the scenes video of how they filmed that because it's insane. It's bloody, it's gory, it's violent. It's also like 2.5 hours long, but it's paced beautifully. So yeah, I Saw the Devil. It was a great way to end out my month. That's all the movies I watched. We can quickly run through some shows. I didn't watch a ton. House of the Dragon finally finished, and it was great all the way through, thank God. I am super excited for season 2. Sucks that we're gonna have to wait like another year and a half or whatever, but I'm pumped, dude. Also, my wife and I watched the show The Watcher on Netflix. That was good. I didn't love the ending, but it kept us enthralled. I thought Bobby Cannavale, if that's how you say his name, he carried that whole show. Like Naomi Watts did nothing for that show. He carried. His performance was really good. The show itself was pretty mid. And then we watched, what else did we watch? Oh, we watched The Midnight Club, which is the new Mike Flanagan show. He directed 1 or 2 of the episodes, but mostly I think just like produced it, and it was pretty good. The stories are what keeps it fresh. There's like the whole show's an anthology where each episode is like a different story that these kids are telling, and the stories are what make the show good. The actual underlying story is kind of mid. I think that's it. Yeah. If you've seen any of these things, let me know. Let me know your opinions on them, if they differ from mine or if you agree. And then if there's something else you think I should watch or should check out, let me know down below. Yeah, my name is Cody Metcalf. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.